Sometimes I think I'm crazy too for doing this, but anyway, here we are putting the axle back in with the bearings first. I've already battered that bearing in. I've used I've got the 1 3/8 socket, which I stuck in there. Liberally hit with the hide hammer until I got a little bit slow doing that. So I sped up the process and hit it with that. There, that's in there. Next I'll put in the retainer in the circlip, and then I've got to turn the wheel over to that side, and with this axle with the spindle facing that way, and drive it back up against the circlip again, and then I'll start on the other side. So that's it for now. 20 years ago I put the axle and new bearings and new circlips and everything in this front wheel. When I took it off recently, because it was sitting a little bit too close to one of the legs, I noticed the axle wouldn't turn around at all. So I pulled it out and went through the process and put it all back in there again, replacing a grease retainer ring because it was a bit bent. The second time I put it in there, I ended up with the same problem. Axle wouldn't go around again. So what I'm thinking of, well, obviously, this is what I'm doing. I'm hitting this retainer, if I can just get it right, too hard, and it's buckling in. And that is then stopping the axle from going around. That's my theory anyway. That's the first one I took out. Second one, same thing happened again. Not as bad. In the manual, it says to use your spindle to put that bearing in, and once you've got it in there, to put it in from the other side and then push it back up to the circlip. And I thought, well, that might have been one of the problems. So instead of using the spindle all the time, I mainly use this 1 3/8 socket to knock the bearing and the grease retainer rings in there. And then when I'd finished that, instead of using the spindle to knock it in from the other side, because I thought because I was hitting it too hard, obviously, and then I thought I might have been bending that retainer then. So I've used that instead, which slides in there, and give that a whack with a hammer, a little bit gentler than what I have been in the past, and knocked it all back up against the circlip again. So then I'm going to put the other side bearing in and be a lot more gentle with it, obviously, because what I was working on was the rattle effect. Once you've hit everything and everything on the workbench starts shaking, you've got to the other end. So I'm not doing that at this time around. Well, everything's on there. Haven't put the brake plate on. The axle and bearings are in, and the wheel turns around. So it's that seems to be resolved. It's not sitting too close to the stanchion like it was a while ago. So that's all happening. But I'll take it back off again now so I can clean up the chrome on the wheel, and also the alloy here. I've got to shine that all up again. And the chrome is starting to go off. I've got bits of rust coming on there, so I've either got to take the whole front end off or see if I can touch it up on the bike. I don't know. The headlight is a little bit off as well. Handlebars, same deal. Anyway, that's next.